What's up, Internet? This has been the Bearded Coffee Blogger, and today we're doing a cupping of some Mojo Coffee Roasters Ugandan coffee, Uganda Sipi Falls. It's going to be awesome. What's up, Internet? This has been the Bearded Coffee Blogger, and I've been sick the last couple days and haven't gotten to drink a lot of coffee. So I'm excited today to be with you to do a cupping. As you guys know, I've been talking a lot about all the things I've been learning via YouTube and reading lately, and I've never done cupping very much in the past. I didn't always know how to do it, but Tim Wendelboe, and he's another channel you should check out if you're not. He's kind of like the godfather of third wave coffee. Tim, shout out, what's up? I don't know him or anything, but I respect him. But Tim has got a good little tutorial on his YouTube channel about how to do a cupping. And so he says to use kind of your regular grind size for like filter coffee. So I've got it set on my regular, and to do, he recommends a tad lighter perhaps than you normally do. So I normally do a 16:1. I'm actually going to stretch this just a tad. Closer to 16.5 to 1 for your coffee to water ratio. And so I have just ground this stuff. This water just came off the boil, and we're going to do a cupping. So again, I haven't done a lot of cuppings in the past, but the cool thing about it is this is actually, let me start a timer. This is actually how, green coffee buyers and coffee shops and even the growers usually taste their coffee, I believe, on site at the plantation, is to actually do a cupping. And oftentimes they'll have, tons of coffees out there. They might have 50 out there at some like washing stations and things like that. And that's where you can go and taste your coffee when it's super fresh and see what it's like and decide which ones to buy. And so you, by doing this direct immersion brewing, you get a really good sense of everything that's in the coffee. And so I thought I'd try it since Tim gave me a foot up on how to do this stuff. And what you do is you let it steep for 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and smell it here right at the front. Burning my hand, that's hot. So it smells good, but I'm not getting a ton of stuff out of this. But I'm gonna you let it steep for 4 minutes, and then you smell, and then you let it continue to brew for quite a bit longer. I'm gonna go 12 minutes total before you taste. And so that's again, I'm just following Tim Wendelboe's recipe for how you do this. So let me tell you a little bit about this coffee while we're letting it steep. This is Mojo Coffee Roasters Uganda Sipi Falls. I'm not trying to read their tasting notes yet, but this is from the Sipi Mount Elgin region of eastern Uganda. This is a fully washed process coffee. Has multiple varietals, so it has Bourbon, SL14, SL28, and Blue Mountain varieties. Been reading up some on varietals lately, trying to get a better handle on that. Very cool stuff. This is grown at an altitude of 1,200 to 1,900 meters. Man, I'm starting to get some good aroma out of that. So Uganda Sipi Falls, and we are going to smell it in just a sec, and then we're going to taste it again in about 12 minutes. So Tim's recipe: regular filter grind. You pour it in. After 4 minutes, you stir it 3 times and smell, and then you continue to let it brew for an additional 8 or 9 or 10 minutes, and then you taste it. So it's had about 12 minutes total brew time before you taste it. And what that does is that allows the coffee to cool so that you taste all the different things in there. You'll notice the more you drink coffee, as it cools, you'll taste different things. So that allows it to cool for you to fully taste it when it's at its best. Sometimes if you taste When it is really hot, it'll taste more bitter than it actually is. And so I know a lot of you out there love to drink hot coffee, but you'll taste the most if it's cooled off a little bit. So you do that. The other thing that it does is it allows any imperfections in either the growing, I think, or the roasting to come out. They will really start to make themselves known as the coffee gets cooler and cooler. And so if it really begins to develop an off taste, the heat kind of covers up some of that imperfection. But as it cools, if it has any sort of off taste, you'll really begin to notice that stuff. And so there's multiple reasons why you let it cool, but that's one of them. So we got about another 30 seconds, and we're going to do the sniffy sniff here on this Mojo or Mojo. I think it's got to be Mojo, but I keep wanting to say Mojo for some reason. But either way, Nola, what's up? Shout out. Got to go to New Orleans a few years ago and try a lot of the shops around there. Don't remember trying these guys, but it was awesome. New Orleans had a cool coffee culture, just like not just Cafe Du Monde, but they had some good third wave stuff going on too, and I loved it. All right, it's been 4 minutes, so I'm gonna break the crust. Ooh, stir it 3 times. And what I'm getting at here, I'm gonna go ahead and try to skim the top. And that gets rid of any of those floaties and any sort of bitterness that might be on the top. So I want to skim the top. All right. And what I'm noticing is some to me, this coffee is a little closed up, or maybe just doing it this way, I'm not smelling it as much as I normally would, because I really stir it and let it aerate, and that kind of helps me to smell. So it tastes a little closed up to me, but it's got some caramel. It's got maybe some chocolate. It overall smells sweet, so I like that. All right, so I'll be back with you guys, and when it gets to 12 minutes, and we'll taste. All right, guys, so we're back, and this has been brewing for right at 12 minutes. And you'll notice, it's pretty much most all the sediment has fallen to the bottom. So it's not going to be real, I'm sure it'll have more texture than normal, but that's to the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and taste this and see what it smells like, or tastes like, excuse me. And now, when you do this, you tend to do a slurp. And when you do the slurp, you'll hear me slurp a lot when I'm tasting coffees. What you're trying to do is aerate that coffee in your mouth and actually help all that smell to go into your sinus cavity so you can really taste what's going on. And sometimes if you do it wrong, it makes you cough, which sometimes I do it wrong. Ooh, that one got me. All right, so what I'm tasting in this coffee, I'm continuing to get the caramel, kind of sweet overtones, caramel chocolate. The acidity is not, it's not, what do I think about the acidity? It's not super strong, but it's there. To me, it's a medium light acidity. It's not. I think I smelled more floral earlier, but it's a tad fruitier now. But to me, it kind of is uncharacteristic. It's just kind of there. It's not unpleasant, but it's not like, ooh, this tastes just like that. It's just kind of a general kind of acidic taste. It adds to the coffee overall. To me, this has a medium-ish body. And maybe there's a tad bit of like spiciness going on to it, I think, as well. That's mainly what I get is overwhelming caramel chocolate. with like a hint of acidity up there in the top. That's that I don't know. I keep going back between floral and fruity. Maybe it is more floral, more kind of flowers is what I get personally. Let's see what they say on the bag. They say Uganda Sipi Falls. They say white grape acidity, s'mores, and baking spice. So maybe white grape is what I'm tasting with the acidity. I can get that a little bit. I definitely get the s'mores. To me, it's more caramel than chocolate. And I was getting a little bit of spiciness. So it's like some sort of like Mediterranean spiciness or something along those lines. So yeah, so for me, this is not quite my typical coffee, although I do drink a lot of African coffees. But I tend to prefer Latin American coffees even more. To me, they're a little more balanced and sweet all the way through. But this is a good coffee. Oh, I just caught a major whiff of the s'mores, right? Just moving through there. That's real interesting that I didn't get before. Ooh, and that makes it more delightful. So this is actually getting, I think, maybe even better as it sits. I noticed when I brewed this Kalita Wave and drank some like 2 days ago for the first time, I liked the coffee more the longer I drank it. It kind of worked its way into me. Still, that being said, this isn't blowing me away, but it is a really good coffee. I would probably rate this like a 3.75 out of 5. Is kind of where I'd put it. So overall good. Not at all disappointed that I bought this bag. But it wouldn't be my daily drinker all year long. But I will thoroughly enjoy this bag of Mojo Coffee Roasters from New Orleans. So anyway, guys, this has been Ben, the Bearded Coffee Blogger. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this cupping, very first cupping we've ever done on the blog. If I've screwed something up royally and you're like, dude, you're doing that totally wrong, because again, I'm learning here with you. I'm not an expert. Please tell me if I'm making a mistake. I would love just to learn more, and give me some general feedback about anything on the channel that you're liking, not liking. Question of the day: have you ever done a coffee cupping? Have you ever done one? And maybe either way, do you like doing them? If you haven't done them before, if you've never done one before, would you like to do one? What do you think about cupping? So anyway, answer that. As always, I'm super appreciative for everybody watching the channel, checking out, commenting. Again, had a buddy. Shout out Corey, had a buddy who Marco Polo'd me today and was telling me how much he enjoyed watching the videos. So I super appreciate all the love that I'm getting. You guys keep hitting that thumbs up. That helps sharing and subscribing. If you've not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel and you want to do that, I would mucho appreciado that. So anyway, Ben the Bearded Coffee Blogger. Have a good one. Peace.